Savile Row British tailoring versus Neapolitan Italian tailoring, two legendary traditions, have shaped men's fashion for centuries, yet they could not be more different in their philosophy and approach. The British suit, born on the storied streets of Savile Row, and the Italian suit, perfected in the sun-soaked workshops of Naples, represent two distinct visions of masculine elegance. Savile Row first emerged in 1731 as part of the Burlington estate in Mayfair, originally named after Lady Dorothy Savile, wife of the 3rd Earl of Burlington. What began as an elegant residential address for aristocrats eventually became the epicenter of global menswear. The transformation was not immediate, taking until the late 18th century for military tailors to establish workshops there, driven by British Army officers who required impeccably fitted uniforms during the Napoleonic Wars. The street earned its fame through a remarkable 300-year period, from the Restoration to World War II, when British style dominated men's clothing worldwide. So influential was this tradition that in Japan today the word for a suit is sebiru, a corruption of Savile Row. This linguistic adoption speaks to the global reach of British tailoring excellence. Henry Poole Company first opened in 1806 at Brunswick Square, originally specializing in military tailoring during those turbulent Napoleonic years. After founder James Poole's death, the company relocated to Savile Row in 1846, cementing the street's reputation as the home of bespoke tailoring. Henry Poole created something revolutionary in 1860 when he made a short evening jacket for the Prince of Wales to wear at informal dinner parties at Sandringham. This innovation traveled across the Atlantic in 1886, when James Potter of Tuxedo Park in New York visited London and was advised by the prince to have a smoking jacket made by Poole. When Potter returned to New York wearing this new garment at the Tuxedo Club, fellow members quickly began having copies made, adopting the jacket as their informal uniform and giving birth to what we now call the tuxedo. The early 20th century brought revolutionary changes to British tailoring through the vision of Frederick Schulte, a Dutch tailor who began working from 7 Savile Row in 1906. Schulte pioneered what became recognized as the London cut, or English drape, a groundbreaking style that directly reacted against the narrow, more constricted tailoring of Victorian times. This softer approach was later perfected by Per Anderson and Sidney Shepherd, who founded Anderson and Shepherd to put the English drape style into practice. In contrast to this soft drape style, houses like Huntsman developed their distinctive firm cut, a more structured approach that created sharper, more military-inspired silhouettes. British influence extended far beyond its own shores. Areas like Naples in Italy, despite having their own rich tailoring traditions, developed by watching, copying, and then adapting British style. Local tailors in Naples saw the row-clad men on their grand tour and copied the cuts while removing much of the structure to make them more suitable for the heat of southern Italy. The roots of today's Neapolitan tailoring stretch back almost 700 years, to the founding in the 14th century of Italy's oldest tailoring association, Confraternita dell'Arte dei Giubbonai e Cositori, the brotherhood of the jacket makers and of the tailors. However, the distinct style we recognize today took form in the 1920s through tailors such as Antonio Caggiula and Vincenzo Attolini, who rejected the heavy British model in favor of unstructured, lighter jackets suited to Naples' climate and lifestyle. The transformation accelerated in the 1930s when Rubinacci suggested to his in-house cutter Attolini that suiting based on Schulte's work, but even more drastically unstructured, unlined and unpadded, might find favor among Naples residents. This radical departure from British formality defined Neapolitan tailoring for generations to come. Post-war Italy witnessed the emergence of powerhouse brands that challenged British supremacy. Brioni was founded in Rome in 1945 by Nazareno Fontecoli and Gaetano Savini, and by 1952 they had organized the first menswear runway show in modern fashion history at Palazzo Pitti in Florence. Chiton followed in 1968, founded in Naples by Ciro Paione, establishing itself as a pinnacle of Neapolitan craftsmanship. Other notable Neapolitan houses like Isaiah later emerged, bringing ready-to-wear interpretations of traditional Neapolitan construction to a wider audience. The fundamental difference between these traditions lies in their construction philosophy. British suits, particularly those from Savile Row, prioritize structure and precision. They feature defined shoulders with substantial shoulder pads, narrow sleeves with high armholes, and a stiff canvas. The jacket construction employs a full floating canvas made from horsehair, cotton, and sometimes linen, entirely hand-stitched to the fabric through thousands of tiny stitches. This laborious process, requiring at least 50 hours of hand labor according to the Savile Row Bespoke Association, creates a jacket that drapes beautifully and actually improves with wear. The result is what tailors call a living garment. A full canvas suit memorizes your posture over time, creating a fit that grows more personal with each wear. Fred Astaire, when visiting Anderson and Shepherd, would dance around the fitting room with one eye on the surrounding mirrors, monitoring how his suit responded to his movement and checking that the coat remained flush against his neck. British jackets commonly feature a single vent at the back, though double vents are also seen. Traditional British fabrics include subtle patterns like herringbone, Prince of Wales check, and Glen plaid, rendered in earthy and muted color tones. The finest examples often employ Super 150s or Super 180s wool from premier mills like Holland and Sherry and Loro Piana, which provide exceptional hand feel and drape. Classic details include notch lapels, ticket pockets, and working cuffs, also called surgeon's cuffs. The trousers take a comfortable middle-of-the-road stance, not too tight, not too loose, typically slim with a high waist and pleats, usually worn with a quarter or half break. Italian construction, particularly the Neapolitan style, follows an entirely different philosophy. Where the British add structure, Italians remove it. The Neapolitan jacket has no shoulder padding whatsoever. The shoulder, known as spalla camicia, is sewn like a shirt sleeve and follows the natural curve of the human body, rather than imposing an artificial shape. This creates what tailors call the conrollino, a very narrow and slightly puckered sleeve head that remains completely unpadded. The genius of Neapolitan construction lies in its embrace of natural movement. These jackets tend to be shorter in the back. In Neapolitan dialect, they say the jacket is zompa a retto, which roughly means it jumps in the back. This characteristic allows the jacket to slide gracefully along the body rather than constraining it. Neapolitan jackets are famous for their wide lapels, often peaked on double-breasted jackets, formal jackets, and coats. These lapels can be as wide as 4 inches, compared to 3 inches for a regular lapel. The chest features the distinctive barchetta pocket, an Italian phrase meaning little boat, which describes how the pocket floats on the chest, gently angled upwards like the bow of a sailboat. The 3-roll-2 construction, called tre bottoni su due, features a lapel that hides the 3rd button to provide extra freedom of movement because of a longer opening in the front. The vents on the sides are dramatically deep, up to 12 inches, allowing for exceptional movement. Most radically, lining is considered an unnecessary burden. Neapolitan tailors keep lining to a minimum, with jackets typically unlined or only half-lined. Even the sleeves are entirely unlined. The lining that does exist is often left open, called volante, literally flying, so people can admire the fine details and construction of the jacket. The time investment in these garments reflects their quality. Every chiton suit undergoes a rigorous process spanning over 25 hours and involving more than 1,800 detailed steps, likely overseen by 150 people. Brioni suits require between 18 and 22 hours to make, with 45 minutes dedicated to a single button, 5,000 to 7,000 hand-stitched points, and up to 220 processing steps, 80 of those steps devoted to ironing alone. This investment translates into remarkable longevity. A well-cared-for, bespoke suit can last 20 to 30 years or more, compared to 3 to 5 years for a typical off-the-rack suit. The difference lies not just in construction quality, but in the fundamental approach to the canvas. Canvas is the crucial layer positioned between the fabric and the lining of a jacket. Also called haircloth, canvas is made from a blend of horsehair, camel hair, and cotton. This natural fiber construction provides flexibility and shape retention. Full canvas construction involves this canvas running from the upper parts of the jacket all the way down to the hem, offering maximum support, shape retention, and draping properties. Half canvas construction, a more modern adaptation, uses canvas only in the chest and lapel area, with the rest of the jacket fused through a process where the outer fabric is glued to the inner lining. While this represents a compromise, it still offers superior performance to fully fused construction, which characterizes roughly 95% of off-the-rack suits. Some fascinating traditions persist in modern construction. Savile Row tailors still use small amounts of wadding made from soybean fiber, a practice dating back to World War II rationing when innovative materials were sought to replace scarce resources. Regional variations within Italian tailoring add complexity to this landscape. Neapolitan style emphasizes natural, unstructured shoulders with minimal padding and high armholes for freedom of movement. Milanese tailoring takes a more structured approach with padded shoulders that provide a sharper silhouette, lower button stances creating longer visual lines, and an emphasis on close fits that follow natural body contours. Roman tailoring strikes a balance between these approaches, combining Neapolitan softness with Milanese structure. The pricing of these garments reflects their artisanal nature. Henry Poole bespoke two-piece suits start from £6,500, while Edward Sexton begins at £7,460. At the luxury apex, the most expensive Brioni suit ever sold was the Vanquish II collection at $43,000 apiece, while Chiton's ultimate expression, the K50, costs $60,000 and is made exclusively by one of their 5 most senior tailors. The industry has shown remarkable resilience. According to a 2019 report by the Savile Row Bespoke Association, there were 19 tailoring houses employing 400 tailors with an estimated annual revenue of £40 million. After the challenging times of the COVID-19 pandemic, sales of bespoke suits increased significantly in 2024, suggesting a renewed appreciation for artisanal craftsmanship. Modern Savile Row continues to evolve while respecting tradition. The 1960s brought revolutionary change through Tommy Nutter and Edward Sexton, who opened Nutters of Savile Row on Valentine's Day, 1969, redefining the Savile Row silhouette by introducing a bold style that fused rock and roll attitude with bespoke precision. The 1990s saw the emergence of the new bespoke movement, led by figures like Richard James, who was awarded Menswear Designer of the Year by the British Fashion Council in 2001. Oswald Boateng became the first black designer to open his own store on the Row in 1995, forming part of this new movement that brought fresh perspectives to traditional tailoring. The diversity of modern Savile Row was celebrated at the 2025 Met Gala, themed Superfine Tailoring Black Style, where Boateng showcased bespoke looks worn by Ira Star, Issa Rae, and Thames. Contemporary trends reflect changing attitudes toward formal wear. Sean Dixon, co-founder of Richard James, observes that tailoring has changed and men don't see a suit as a uniform anymore. It's a pleasure to wear one and a choice. They're not scared of color, and their choices have become a bit more interesting. This shift is evident in sales patterns, where olive green or pink suits have become some of the biggest sellers after navy at Richard James. The industry has also embraced gender inclusivity. Today's Savile Row has never been more diverse, offering ready-to-wear, made-to-measure, and bespoke options made by both men and women, for both men and women. At Deige and Skinner, 10 of their 20 staff members are female, reflecting a concentrated effort over the last 15 years to train the next generation of tailors, regardless of gender. Innovation continues within traditional frameworks. Brioni opened the tailoring school Scuola di Alta Sartoria in Penne, Italia in 1985, ensuring the transmission of skills to future generations. The Savile Row Bespoke Association, founded in 2004, works to protect and develop bespoke tailoring, with founding members including Anderson and Shepard, Deege and Skinner, Jeeves and Hawkes, and Henry Poole. New arrivals continue to join these historic streets. London-based luxury cashmere label Oyuna, founded by Mongolian-born designer Oyuna Sarandorj in 2002, landed on Savile Row in 2025, celebrating Mongolia's nomadic culture through collections spanning women's wear, menswear, and homeware. So, which tradition should you choose? The answer depends entirely on your lifestyle and personal aesthetic preferences. If you value structure, formality, and garments that maintain their shape through decades of wear, the British approach offers unparalleled excellence. If you prioritize comfort, natural movement, and an effortless Mediterranean elegance, the Italian philosophy provides unmatched sophistication. The enduring appeal of these traditions lies in their fundamental philosophy of fit and comfort. As the Duke of Windsor observed, a gentleman should look as if he had bought his clothes with intelligence, put them on with care, and then forgotten all about them. This philosophy transcends nationality or construction method. Whether one chooses the structured precision of British tailoring or the fluid elegance of Italian construction, both traditions represent the pinnacle of clothing as craft. They embody centuries of accumulated wisdom about how fabric, when properly cut and constructed, can enhance the human form while providing comfort and durability that mass production simply cannot match. In our age of fast fashion and disposable clothing, these traditions stand as monuments to the value of craftsmanship, patience, and skill. They remind us that clothing can be more than mere covering. It can be armor for modern life, a second skin that moves with us and improves with time, connecting us to centuries of human ingenuity and the endless pursuit of excellence in the simple act of getting dressed.